Facebook page. Ako po si Amy Oliveros, Luzon, Coordinator ng The Climate Reality Project Philippines. Muli, ako po ang inyong host ngayong hapon para ako po si Amy Oliveros, no? Magandang hapon po. Isang napakagandang hapon po sa inyong lahat na naka-tune in today sa ating Facebook page. Ako po si Amy Oliveros, Luzon Coordinator ng The Climate Reality Project Philippines. Muli, ako po ang inyong host ngayong hapon para sa ika-16 na episode ng Klima Totohanan. Grabe, 16 episodes na pala tayo, no? So kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa patuloy ninyong pagsuporta sa ating webcast. So co-hosting with me today is one of the coordinators for the Transport Subcluster of the Climate Reality Project Philippines. I'm very happy to welcome Ms. Shar Dismas. Hello, Shar! Magandang hapon sa iyo.
And hello to all of our viewers on our Facebook Live. I am honored to be co-hosting this episode today, which is actually in observance of the International Coastal Cleanup Day. Our goal for today is to deepen our conversations about cleanup drives by putting the spotlight on groups that are using ingenious and creative ways to tackle local waste problems.
Yes, Shar, that's correct. Shout out po no sa ating mga CRLs and other groups, communities, and individuals doing coastal cleanup right now. Alam ko marami po, di ba? Ang nagko-coastal cleanup, maraming salamat po sa inyo. As we all know, the disposal and treatment of waste can produce greenhouse gas emissions, which in turn contribute to climate change. That is why we in the Climate Reality Project Philippines support the call for a just transition to a more regenerative and circular economic system in which waste is kept at a minimum kung kaya nga. Wala, di ba? So and we know that to achieve that, we will need systemic and transformative changes, including regulating and phasing out single-use plastics.
That's absolutely right, Ames. But while we push for systematic changes that will solve our waste and plastic problem, we also want to promote innovative, scalable, and community-based actions that contribute towards our pursuit of sustainability. Thankfully, pinaunlakan tayo ngayon hapon ng ating mga guests na may kanya-kanyang waste management initiatives. At huwag na natin sila pag-intayin pa, let's get the ball rolling by introducing our speakers.
Thank you so much, Shar. Let me do the honors of introducing our first guest here. She is a climate reality leader and the co-convener of the National Cleanup Day Coalition Philippines. It's a coalition of all cleanup groups, CSOs, government agencies, and LGOs all over the country. From sea to summit or reef to ridge, cleanup, prevention, and collaboration. Mga kaibigan, let's all welcome Miss Marilyn Giliena. Miss Mary, magandang hapon po and thank you so much for joining us today. Can you say hello po sa ating mga viewers? At meron lang po kaming warm-up question pa. Konting patikim lang, Miss Mary. What does innovation mean to you in the context of waste management po?
Hello, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Salamat po sa pag-imbita sa amin dito sa Climate Reality Project Philippines, and natutuwa po kami na kami po pinagbigyan ng ganitong opportunity po. Para sa akin po, innovation is something you genuinely do for a greater purpose. It may mean emulating someone or something, you do it on purpose. It is living in what you do and is finding value in everything you do. It is doing things with passion, commitment, and determination to produce a good result in the future. No, in simple words for me, yung innovation for me is yung service and mission.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Mary, for that wonderful insight. Moving on to our next guest. She's a campaign specialist for Plastics of Oceania, an international organization focused solely on oceans, dedicated to achieving measurable change by conducting specific science-based policy campaigns with fixed deadlines and articulated goals. Let's call on Ms. May Chato. Hi, May! Maraming salamat sa pagtugon sa aming invitation ngayong hapon. It's great to have you here. Just like Mary, please answer our opening question. what does innovation mean to you in the context of waste management?
Okay. First of all, I want to thank all of you for inviting Oshana and to participate in this webcast. This, I guess, is our second guesting and third partnership, if I remember it right. For me, innovation in the context of solid waste management is pushing for the advocacy, but at the same time collaborating with the stakeholders and our partners, because the plastic issue is a collaborative effort. It covers everyone, so it's participatory for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, May. Of course, very happy kami as always to partner with Oshana, di ba? And I really appreciate that you mentioned about collaboration with stakeholders. Indeed, that's right. Maraming salamat sa iyo. Okay, ang susunod naman nating guest is a fellow climate reality leader. She is the Public Affairs, Communications, and Sustainability Franchise Manager of Coca-Cola Philippines, where she has led and executed programs in the spaces of women empowerment, water stewardship, well-being, and world on climate action and waste through multi-stakeholder partnership. Yan, magandang hapon sa iyo, Ms. Joy Monsaya Kakal. Maraming salamat for joining us today, Joy. Now it's your turn to greet our viewers and answer the questions. The question, what does innovation mean to you in the context of waste management?
Yeah, hi, first of all, good afternoon, everyone, especially my co-climate reality leaders all over the Philippines, and also the leadership of the national leadership of TCRP and the leadership of Luzon. Hi, Amy, I think you're my text mate, so thank you for always reminding us about the activities for the Luzon cluster. Anyway, what is innovation? Maybe I'll answer this from my functional role right now, and also as a climate reality leader, as on a personal context. So when you say innovation on waste, the first thing that comes to mind is the continuous pursuit for better options. You know, when you say better options, it should be a holistic better. Not just better for one party or for an individual, but better for the environment, better for the humanity of now. And of course, better, we have to make sure that the innovation that we do right now does not negatively impact the future generations. So it should serve that 360 view when you decide to innovate something, especially on waste and packaging. So I'll share more about how we are innovating, how we live and breathe innovation in the company where I belong, and also innovation in small ways. Because, you know, innovation can come from everyone. So let's not discount the collective genius of all Filipinos and all humans around the world. I mean, yeah, that's innovation for me.
Wow. The continual pursuit of better options. Thank you, Ms. Joy. Our next speaker is an ASEAN Young Business Leaders Initiative Sustainability Fellow and one of the 40 SEs of Ashoka's Women for Better Normal cohort. She's co-founded various local social enterprises and has been an active champion of marine conservation and preservation in the Philippines since 2014. She currently serves as a Philippines Operations Manager and Global Community Development Specialist for Plastic Bank, a social enterprise that empowers disenfranchised communities to exchange any type of plastic for currency. She is Dang Texan. Hello, Dang! Thank you for being with us today. Just like our other guests, ano nga ba ang sagot mo sa katanungang, what does innovation mean to you in the context of waste management?
Hi, Char and Aini. Pleasure to meet all of you and to all of the panelists. So first, thank you again for inviting us or for having Plastic Bank here and to share what we do. Siguro yung innovation for me, being creative in how we achieve things. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simplified. And siguro for me, yung pinaka-importante is how do we ensure that it's very inclusive for everyone? It doesn't have to be like you have to contribute in resources, but it's more of creativity on how we value everybody, on how they could take part and how to make these goals into reality. So I think that's what innovation for me is. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Dang, for that. I love the word inclusive, di ba? Talagang dapat in natin lahat ng stickers, di ba? So maganda yung sinabi ni Dang. Maraming salamat, no? Now, before I proceed dun sa ating next guest, yan, gusto lang natin muna mag-shoutout. Alam ko may mga nanonood sa ating FB page. We wanna just call out some of our viewers online. Niyam Chloe Panagsagan and Hannah Rosel D. Andis from Calaca Central School. Naku, maraming salamat po sa mga taga Calaca, Batangas. Miss Kimberly C. Pomperada from Antipolo. Naku, mula iba't ibang panig pala tayo ngayon. Lance Kevin Co. Quinto from Navotas City. Benedict Kale R. Mercado from Bayongbong. Naku, may taga Nueva Ecija pa. Karen Inofre from Partido State University. Camarines Sur, Alexa Martina from Las Piñas. Naku, keep the greetings coming and the questions po sa Facebook page. Mamaya baka ma-shoutout pa namin kayo. Now, thank you again to all the viewers. Now, I want to proceed with our last guest. Naku, she's a fellow climate reality leader. She is a management engineering student at the Ateneo de Manila University and currently the youth cluster representative to the Climate Smart Industries and Services cluster of the Climate Reality Project Philippines. She is one of the leads for the youth cluster's anti-single-use plastic campaign in partnership with Greenpeace Philippines called What's Up, which aims to educate people on the plastic crisis and ultimately create change on a systemic level. Ayan, join me in welcoming Katya Ariana Tanglao, and she will serve as the youth reactor for this episode. Magandang hapon, Ari. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Ikaw naman ang sumagot. Now, what does innovation mean to you in the context of waste management?
Hi, Miss Amy. Hi, Shar. Thank you for having me. What innovation means in the context of waste management for me is also just being creative and looking for new solutions to manage our waste, because this is a very important issue now, especially in the context of the youth. So it's very important that we look at all perspectives, and innovation also means intergenerational collaboration. So that's something that we can work on. I agree, Ari. Wow, being part also of the youth cluster. We have had or thought of many creative ways on how to tackle this, and I'm pretty sure the project that you're leading, you also continuously think of creative ways on how to tackle the single-use plastic. But thank you again for joining us, Ari. All right, now that you have introduced all of our speakers, let's get down to business. In the first segment of our show, we will give the floor to Mary to talk about the work that they do at the National Cleanup Day Coalition. So, Miss Mary, we want to know, 1, what are the goals of your coalition? What is the role of cleanup drives in waste management? May mga nagsasabi na ang mga cleanup drive ay parang band-aid solution lamang sa ating waste problem. Ano po ang masasabi niyo dito? And lastly, why should we people support cleanup drives? Sorry, go ahead, Mary.
Yes. Salamat po sa tanong, ma'am. And ito po yung magandang panahon para po sagutin yung mga haka-haka na mga sinasabi ng iba. So, ang goal po ng aming coalition is, first and foremost, ipapakilala ko po sa inyo and sa lahat kung ano yung coalition, yung National Cleanup Day Coalition. The National Cleanup Day Coalition started 2005 po. And ito po yung groups ng mga cleanup groups, kasama na yung mga LGUs, CSOs, at iba pang mga NGOs. And also, we partnered with a small and medium enterprises po. So to create partnerships and work on and mapuntahan po namin yung mga last miles na mga lugar. Kasi sila po yung hindi masyado na nakaka-reach ng mga balita, and mostly walang masyadong nag-clean up doon, and and may mga problema po sila sa plastic na hindi natin natutulungan dito sa lowland. So, yung goal talaga ng coalition is to cleaner seas and litter-free seas that starts at home. No? So we are creating ventures and capacity building seminars and webinars, trainings to incapacitate every people na marunong and to do actions para itong clean up na ito hindi lang talaga clean up. No, yung clean up namin is mababawasan yung mga plastics na nakiklean up from the cleanups, and then hindi na talaga dapat mabalik pa sa seas kung saan namin sila napulot. So we are creating eco bricks, and ginagawa po namin yung mga eco tabang solar lamps yung galing sa PET bottles, and we are also promoting food gardens para din maiwasan yung mga plastics, kasi doon kasi tayo mas malaki na consume sa pagkain, di ba, nung plastics. So if we have food gardens at home, malaki yung matitipid natin, no, sa pera, hindi lang sa plastic, sa pera, and then it will give us healthier body, no? Importante sa pandemic ngayon, di ba? Kasi kailangan natin mag-save ng money and healthier bodies to fight COVID-19. Yes po.
Alright, thank you so much for that po. I actually like yung nire-reach out niyo talaga yung mga communities na hindi masyado napupuntahan or nare-reach ng mga ibang tao. And I like the idea of hindi lang kayo nag-clean up but also preventing yung mga plastics na pupunta sa mga lugar. Just one follow-up question lang, last na to. Paano po ba makakapag-participate ang ating mga viewers sa Facebook Live natin sa inyong mga activities? Sino o kanina sila dapat makipag-ugnayan?
Naku, napakadali lang po. Salamat po sa tanong, ma'am. And napakadali lang naman po no, sumali sa amin and to participate with our coalition. First lang po is you like our pages, Facebook pages. No, meron doong nakalagay about sa group namin, meron nakalagay doon na email tsaka cellphone number. So you can contact them or message po yung page or email po, mag-email po, and then comment. Pwede din mag-comment doon, no? So we can accommodate you firsthand kung nag-comment ka. And then, do also share our post, no? And then, join our online sessions. Meron po kaming Eco Booth Leadership Camp wherein doon po kami nagtuturo about our mission and vision po.
Alright, thank you so much for that, Ms. Mary. Before we move on to Amy, I'd just like to shout out a few people. Si Ramon Manelo from Palomolok, South Cotabato, Joanna Angel O. Galera from Ilocos, Mark Kemuel Kasindak Sagay from Sagay City, Negros Occidental, wow. JPC Marcos from Ilocos Norte, and Angelica J. Ibus watching from Cagayan. Thank you so much for tuning in our Facebook Live. Mamaya, marami pang shoutout dyan. But I'll go to my co-host, Amy. Amy?
Thank you so much, Char. Hello po. No? Ang dami nating mga friendships sa Facebook. Hello, guys. Now, while you're here at nasa Facebook Live at nasa Facebook na rin kayo, please like na rin, di ba, ang National Cleanup Day Coalition, sabi nga ni Miss Mary, no? And join them in their quest really to di ba, remove the plastics away from the oceans. Ayan. So, mamaya po siguro we will share to you the contact details of our guests para at least you can contact them directly. No? So, maraming salamat again to Char and Miss Mary. Now, dumako naman tayo sa susunod nating segment kung saan kikilalanin at aalamin naman natin ang Oceana Philippines and the work that they do for waste management. In this segment, we will give the floor to May para siya naman ang sumagot sa mga susunod na tanong natin. Naku, ano nga ba, no? Paano ba tinatakal, 'di ba, ng Oceana ang marine plastic pollution? 'Di ba? Ano ba currently yung mga innovative strategies na ginagawa nila in terms of information, communication, and education? And what can citizens do to avoid single-use plastic? Now, I want to give the floor to May. I know you have a presentation, Ms. May.
Yes. Thank you, Amy. First, I'm going to talk about Oceana. I'll give an overview of the plastic crisis and then the initiatives and what you can do as individuals in this who wants to give their share in the plastic pollution problem, to address the plastic pollution. Let me share my screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, you can see it.
Okay. So, Oceana, we are the largest international advocacy organization dedicated solely to ocean conservation. So, our goal really is to rebuild abundant and biodiverse oceans, winning science-based policies in countries that control 1/3 of the world's wild fish catch, which include the Philippines. So, as of now, we have 125 policy wins all over the world and protected more than 4 million square miles of ocean. So we are present in these countries. We started in the United States in 2001 and we branched out to 8 countries all over the world. In 2014, we opened our doors in the Philippines because as we all know, the Philippines is an archipelagic country. I'll give you a brief overview of the plastic crisis that we have. It's like dumping a truckload of garbage into the ocean every minute. So these are the data that we got from different studies and from our partners. The most recent of which is the rivers which emit most plastics in the oceans are from the Philippines. So it's a distinction that we should not be proud of. And then this data came from our partner, the Global Alliance for Incinerator Alternatives, or the GAIA. We can see here how much plastic we produced on a yearly basis and how much plastics we are using individually. So you just have to multiply how many of us now. There are 100 million times mo yung 509 pieces of sachets, 174 shopping bags, 164 lavabo bags. So medyo alarming talaga siya. And then comes the pandemic, which exacerbated our pandemic waste. So these are photos, are news stories from divers in Anilao who saw plastic waste from PPEs. This photo came from my colleague. He was so disheartened when he saw this face shield lying on the ocean floor. And then, of course, there are stories, reports, and studies of marine mammals being washed ashore with plastics in their stomach. So, and then there's this problem of microplastic. Because plastic, once exposed to the elements of the environment, it disintegrates into microplastics. Why is it a problem? Because they are so small that the wildlife can mistake it for food. So, this study came from these documented studies of seafoods consuming microplastics. So, para na rin, diba, parang if you consume seafood, chances are we might have consumed also microplastics. So, as of now, based on the IPEN study in 2000, this year, over 690 marine species have been impacted by plastic debris and microplastics. And then, this was the recent expedition of UP marine scientist Dr. Deo Onda in the Emden Deep, the third largest, deepest part of the Earth, the Emden Deep, which is part of the Philippine Trench. He saw something floating along the ocean floor, and he was surprised to find out that those were plastics. So even at the deepest part of the Earth, there's plastic. So plastic, once released in the environment, it stays there forever, and it can even outlive us, and it's everywhere. So what now? What is our call to action? What can we do to address the plastic pollution problem? In Oceana, our ban on single-use plastics is anchored on the premise of stopping plastic at the source. We pushing for the ban of single-use plastics nationwide by compelling the National Solid Waste Management Commission to issue a list of non-environmentally acceptable products and packaging materials which include single-use plastics. As I mentioned before, all of our campaigns are science-based and policy-driven. So for this particular campaign, we based it on this very progressive law, the Republic Act number 9003, which was enacted in 2001 to solve the solid waste management issue in the country right then. So it establishes the NSWMC. But the problem is there's this provision that mandates the NSWMC to issue a list of non-environmentally acceptable products, or we call it NEAP, a year after its enactment in the law. And 2 decades later, wala pa rin siyang list. So that's where the problem comes from. We might have been better prepared for the pandemic had the the commission fulfilled its mandate kasi dapat they ban single-use plastics, meron sanang alternative na ibibigay. This was 20 years ago, wala pa rin silang nagagawang nababan na NEAP. But in February of this year, they had a consultation and came up with 2 NEAPs. The plastic stirrers and the plastic straws. By the way, these are the single-use plastics that Oceana, along with our partners from the Break Free from Plastics Coalition or movement, are recommending. Based on the studies, the issuances of the Commission itself, and the audits from the National Coastal Cleanups. Ito yung pinaka-prevalent na SUPs. As of now, the Commission is proposing for a ban of 2, the plastic stirrers and plastic straws. So, hindi pa rin lumalabas yung, hindi pa rin siya na-approve. Yung na yun. After 20 years, nag-propose sila ng 2 and hindi pa rin siya na-approve until now. So in Oceana, we demand accountability from the government to enact and implement smart policies to reduce single-use plastics. This is one of our strategies. We work with the national government and the local government in addressing this issue. So we rallied the local governments to urge the National Solid Waste Management Commission kasi yun talaga yung pinutdulo ng issue namin, ng campaign namin, to issue that long overdue NEAP list, including single-use plastics. As of now, we are able to gather around 86 resolutions from all over the country, na LGUs. And then, as individuals and as partners, you can also help us in this advocacy by logging on to our website. There's this link that you can log on to, and then it will automatically send emails. Here's the template. You can automatically send the emails to all member agencies of the Commission. There are 14 of them. As of now, we have 5,235 sign-ups already. And then, to further pressure the Commission, we sent out notice to sue to all the member agencies of the National Solid Waste Management Commission on this. And we are planning to file a case later this year. Also, on the legislative front, Senator Lauren Legarda filed a resolution calling for an inquiry in aid of legislation, calling on the investigation on the NSWMC's performance of their mandate. So this has yet to be calendared with the Committee on Ecology in the House of Representatives, which hopefully will be a joint congressional committee with the House of Representatives and the Senate. And then we collaborate with partners. While we demand accountability from the government, the national government agencies, we also work with them, along with the local government units, civil society, like-minded civil society organizations, youth organizations, academic institutions, private enterprises, and fisher folks. That's why earlier in this program, when I said that it's a collaborative effort, because really this plastic issue should be an advocacy for all. These are some of our partners from the Break Free from Plastic Coalition and from the academe and for our youth groups. And then we conduct webinars and forums in collaboration with civil society organizations, youth organizations, and academic institutions. These are some of the webinars that we've conducted this year. Iba-iba siyang angle ng plastics. We also promote enterprises which have plastic-free alternatives because you cannot tell the consumers to stop using single-use plastics without providing them with alternatives. In the same way, you cannot demand accountability from the government and telling them to ban the single-use plastic without also presenting alternatives. So this is we connect with private enterprises which have plastic-free alternatives, mainly to amplify our call to ban single-use plastics, because there are alternatives out there that should be promoted. So last year, in a span of 2 months, from November to December, we were able to avoid over 1 million single-use plastics in our Dina Single campaign partner brands. This year, we're able to forge partnerships with restaurants like Gubat in Quezon City, Give Grocer, a sustainable market which use reusables in their deliveries, Humble Market, which is both advocating for and sustainability, and then the Good Cloth, which provides alternative packaging with in terms of cloth coated with beeswax and BCO. It's a good alternative for cling wraps and Ziplocs. And then we have an ongoing information campaign on plastics to our Oceana website and social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just recently, we've launched this video, the Plastic Free Ocean video, on our platforms. And can I have at least 4 minutes? I want to share lang the video with you. Okay lang yon?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Plastic pollution is one of the biggest problems our planet is facing right now, and I'm joining this movement because I want to combat climate change for the welfare of my kids at ang mga susunod na henerasyon na darating.
As an underwater photographer, I've been able to see how microplastics have infested the oceans, and I want to do something about it. As a father, I want my children to enjoy the same reefs that I'm able to enjoy.
Kung
usahay, daghan jud makita nako ng mga plastic sa tuwang mga coastal habitats, labi na mga coral reefs, seagrasses, ug mangrove forests. Unya, diri gapuyo nga tuwang mga commercially important na mga isda, alimango, pasayan, ug mga uban pa ng mga hayop, nga sa depende ang atuang mga mananagat para sa ilahang panginabuhi.
Ako bilang nakatira sa tabing ilog ay ramdam namin ang epekto nito. Sa tuwing huhupa ang baha, makikita namin ang mga plastic na nakasabit sa aming mga gate. At ibig sabihin lang nun na ang mga plastic ay maabot na rin sa ating mga yamang tubig.
Ako po si Angelique Songko, isa sa mga tagapamahala ng Tubataha. Ang nagtulak sa akin na kumilos against single-use plastics ay ang mga naobserbahan ko masamang epekto nito sa mga isda at mga ibon sa Tubataha.
And as climate activists, we have to talk about plastics because plastics is not just a waste management issue, but a climate issue as well. At every single point of its life cycle, it emits greenhouse gases. That's why in order to solve the climate crisis, we have to tackle the plastic crisis as well.
Meron tayong batas na ipinasa 20 taon na ang nakakalipas. Ito ang RA 9003. It mandates the National Solid Waste Management Commission to address the plastic pollution problem by issuing the non-environmentally acceptable products and packaging including single-use plastics. Pero bakit hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin ito nagagawa? Had the government done its mandate before the COVID-19 pandemic hit us, we would have been prepared to address the surge of waste from face masks and other PPEs that are necessary for our protection from the deadly virus.
Sa mga nakalipas na mga taon, nasaksiyan natin ang patuloy na paglala ng epekto ng plastic pollution sa ating kapaligiran na siya rin nagpapahamak sa ating mga buhay at maging sa mga buhay ilang. Kaakibat ng pandemya ang isa pang alon na dapat nating suungin. Nasaksiyan natin ang patuloy na pagrami ng nakokolektang plastic gaya ng face masks at iba pa. Bilang kabataan, responsibilidad nating magmulat ng kamalayan ng komunidad tungkol sa napakalaking suliranin na ito.
The National Solid Waste Management Commission is accountable for failing to fulfill its mandate and implement the law to stop the plastic pollution at the very source.
Pinakamalaking panganib sa ating mga karagatan ay ang paniniwala na may ibang tao na liligtas nito. Dapat tayo ay maging parte ng solusyon, hindi maging parte ng polusyon. Dahil lahat tayo ay konektado sa dagat.
Kailangan talaga nating tugunan ng napakalaking problema ng single-use plastic pollution dahil ito nakakasira sa ating kalikasan. Kaya kasama talaga ang mga kabataan dito sa ating panawagan na i-ban ang single-use plastic para malimit talaga ang production na dito sa ating bansa na magsisilbing unang hakbang, isang mahalagang hakbang patungo doon sa ating tinatawag na sustainable future.
Ang pagkakaroon ng malawakang plastic pollution sa ating karagatan ay malaking sagkat sa pangmatagalang kabuhayan ng mga isda at hadlang sa pagkakaroon ng katiyakan sa pagkain ng ating buhay. Kaya marapat lamang na ipatupad ang batas na mayroon tayo laban dito.
Sa pakikipaglabang ito para sa kalikasan, kung hindi tayo kikilos, sino? At kung hindi ngayon, kailan pa? Ang plastic mananatili, pero tayo hindi. That is why we must act now.
As parents and soon-to-be parents of their children, they want this planet to be a better place to live in. They stood up and held the government accountable for neglect and inaction to avert this plastic pandemic.
One voice, one force for a plastic-free ocean.
So there, those were our partners, our advocates from the youth, the fisher folk, and from the divers. They recognize the fact that there's a sense of urgency in addressing this plastic problem. So if earlier also it emphasized that we need to be collaborative, we need to involve everyone in this cause. So there, if there's a will, there's a way. If we want to adopt a plastic-free ocean, a plastic-free lifestyle, we can to help save the oceans, the people, and the planet. So if you want to join us in this cause, you can get in touch with us in our various social media platforms. We will be glad to have you on board. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Miss May, for that. No? Maraming salamat po for protecting and fighting for our oceans here. Now, before I let you go, Miss May, may question lang. Naku, may magandang question tayo sa Facebook group. And it came from Kim. Hello, Kim. Magandang hapon sa'yo. Kim is actually interested to know, does Oceana partner daw po with private companies in terms of the fight towards plastic pollution? And have you ever partnered daw po with construction companies on their waste management? And can you share that more po? Yeah, so that's from Kim.
As for private companies, we partner with eco-enterprises, those which offered plastic-free alternatives. We haven't partnered with construction companies or companies which convert plastics into eco bricks, if that's what she meant, because for us, plastics is still plastic in every stage of its life cycle. From its inception to its disposal, even if it's recycled, it's still plastic, and it emits greenhouse gases from the fossil fuels that it's made of. So we haven't partnered with those. We only partner with private enterprises because eco enterprises, because we want to amplify the call that there are alternatives to plastic.
Maraming salamat for that. I hope we were able to answer your question, Kim. No? Maraming salamat, Miss May. Again, I just want to echo ano yung sinabi kanina ni Miss May. The Climate Reality Project Philippines po ay kaisa ng Oceana Philippines sa patuloy na panawagan sa ating national government to fully implement Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2002. So sa mga friends po namin dyan sa National Solid Waste Management Commission, baka naman po, beke naman, panahon na para ilabas ang listahan ng non-environmentally acceptable products and packaging materials at ang pag-phase out para dito. Hindi po kami magsasawang mga lampag. Hindi po namin kayo tatantanan.
Let's work together, okay?
Yes,
let's work together.
We are together.
We can collaborate. Let's work together.
Yes, of course. Baka po mag-full Mike Enriquez na ako rito ngayon. No? Kaya bago po ang lahat, maraming salamat, Miss May, and of course, Oceana Philippines. Very happy to work with you in the coming projects pa po, more than ever. Kaya bago ko i-turn over kay Shar, naku, meron ulit tayong pakonting shout-out lang, mga kapatid. No? Again, we want to shout out some of our viewers. Hello po, Miss Melody Romero watching from Lawag City, na imbag na hapon. To our friends in Ilocos, Arvin Pasco watching from San Pablo City, Laguna, Rizalyn S. Santos watching from Marikina, Annabel Jordan watching from Bato, Leyte, Philippines, Alexis Concordia from Ilocos Sur. Naku, ang dami nating friendship today, na-excite ako, Shar. Sige, I'm gonna turn it over to you now.
Actually, may pahabala ako konting shoutout din. Shoutout din kay Janelle G. Asombrado from Baybay City, Leyte. Charlemagne, Irish Gillian, watching from Bana, Ilocos Norte. Lucelle Katie Ortiz, watching from Cagayan de Oro City. Alfredo Lorenzo Sablay, watching from Manila. And si Julian Chase, pa-shoutout daw sa SPG ng Calaca Central School. Wow! Welcome! And pwede pa po kayo mag-shoutout sa comment section or also ask your questions in the comment section below. And we'll get back to it later. But before that, before we proceed to the next segment of the show, may few reminders lang po kami. To ramp up the Global Climate Youth Strike this coming September 24, we partnered with the Climate Reality Project Canada to bring the Climate Week of Action blog post competition to Pinoy high school and college students. To join, write an article around 300 to 600 words on the topic, Why Voting is Important in Addressing the Climate Crisis. Email it to philippines@climatereality.com and don't forget to copy info@climatereality.ca on or before 24 September 2021. Sa pag-email po sa article, maaari lamang na magsama ng isang maiksing bio at inyong profile picture. I-attach din po ang signed consent form na downloadable sa link na bit.ly/student-voting-blog. 3 articles will be chosen to be featured across the websites of the Climate Reality Philippines at climatereality.ph and Climate Reality Canada at climatereality.ca. Winning writers will also receive a special Grow Kits from us. People, please help us spread the word to families and friends who would be interested to join this competition. Together, let us demand for an intersectional climate justice while raising awareness about the importance of voting in ensuring the climate action and sustainability will be front and center of our leaders' agenda.
Thank you for that, Shar. Naku, maraming salamat. Naku guys, Grow Kits, ang ganda nun. Sinasabi ko sa'yo, maganda yun. Kaya, here's another reminder. The Youth Cluster is now running in the Race to a Better Reality, a project led by the youth and for the youth. We are now streaming the film The Race to Save the World until September 20. Napakaganda po ng documentary na ito. Promise, magandang-maganda po siya. This is an uplifting film following the passion and the unwavering commitment of climate activists as they fight in the trenches against climate change. Through our ticket sales, we aim to raise enough funds to install solar panels in partnership with Light of Hope PH at Panganan Elementary and High School, which is situated in an island community in Visayas, which is vulnerable to flooding due to sea level rise. Solar panels would not only mean a clean source of energy for better lighting, ventilation, communication, and overall quality of education for its students, it would also mean a more reliable source of electricity, which is crucial in emergencies. You can get your tickets at tinyurl.com/rtstwph.
Wonderful film. I encourage you to watch it and get your tickets now. But now let's move on to our next segment. We are now putting the spotlight on you, Joy. You have the floor. What role is Coca-Cola playing to solve the plastic crisis? The Reimagined Recycling Initiative.
Hello, hi, good afternoon everyone. Both on Zoom and on Facebook Live. I'm also streaming on Facebook Live, so there's a lot of chatter and engagement, so keep the engagement coming. And well, firstly, congratulations to the TCRP family for conducting this multi-stakeholder platform. So I guess it's key, that we hear all of the perspective from everyone and how everyone is given the chance to contribute and encouraged to contribute to help solve the plastic waste problem. So the question is what Coca-Cola is doing to help solve the plastic waste problem. So some 2 years ago in 2018, the Coca-Cola company globally announced its ambitious goal to help solve the packaging problem in the Philippines, in the world. So it's called the World Without Waste. And allow me to share my screen so that I can share to you the vision behind this goal. So the World Without Waste vision is our goal behind the World Without Waste is to collect and recycle the equivalent of every bottle or can we sell by the year 2030. So it means whatever we sell in the market, we want to collect it back, we want to recycle it, and we want to turn it into another useful material. How are we going to do this? Through 3 strategies on design, collect, and partner. Let me go very quickly on design. So there's a lot of conversation on what type of packaging are we using. Sabi nila bumalik sa bottle or sa glass bottle option. Sabi nila wag gumamit ng plastic. Pero I wanna just explain that under design, we live and breathe innovation. So the first question earlier is that what is innovation? No, for me as a person, and as a Coca-Cola employee, and as a climate reality leader. First of all, the glass or the returnable glass bottle was never phased out, contrary to popular comments from a lot of platforms. It is actually still 50% of the entire business of Coca-Cola in the Philippines. Mostly makikita nyo itong mga RGB bottles natin sa mga suking sari-sari store and karinderya, which is present, no? Sari-sari stores and karinderya are in every street and every corner in the Philippines. And most of our returnable glass bottles are sold from those outlets. And then, again, talking about packaging innovation and design, we're using less and less virgin plastic in our PET bottle. In fact, we've achieved 17% less plastic in our PET bottle. And of course, we're using 100% recycled plastic bottle. We are transitioning to using 100% recycled plastic bottles in our beverage packaging. So you see two brands here, Sprite and Viva. Viva is our mineral water. And you will see more and more brands using rPET, so recycled PET. And if you can also observe, from traditional Sprite colored green PET bottle, we shifted to clear to make it more easier to be recycled along with the other PET bottles that we have. So those are some of the design innovation. And of course,
Sorry to cut you. Can we please have a presenter view so that we can see the slides a bit bigger?
oh, okay. Let me. There.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Okay, so this is under design. And still under design, in 2019, pre-pandemic, we had also the big announcement in the Philippines wherein Coca-Cola invested on a 1 billion closed-loop bottle-to-bottle recycling facility in the Philippines. It's actually the first of its kind technology wherein PET bottles are given new life. As long as it's collected, as long as it's not, it's collected back and siphoned back to our recycling facility, this bottle will become new bottles again that we can use in our beverage. So this is probably one of our largest contribution in preventing the leakage of plastic in our plastic packaging to the environment. You know, it's unacceptable for us that our packaging ends up in places where they don't have, where they shouldn't be. Like, for example, the oceans, our environment. So I think, and perhaps I'm not alone in this thought that to solve the ocean waste problem or to solve the waste problem in bodies of water, it will require a comprehensive land-based solution in managing waste and preventing it from leaking to these bodies of water in the first place. And of course, it's not enough to design. It's not enough that we innovate in our packaging. We have to have a comprehensive collection plan. And we do this by helping develop the local recycling industry and, of course, partnering with organizations. So this slide is a little bit out of date. We already have 40 PET collection, waste collection projects all over the Philippines, and we're continuing to grow. And this connects to the other question that you have about reimagine recycling, which I will discuss a little bit later. So, what do we provide? Through our Coca-Cola Foundation or through our bottling partner and through us, the Coca-Cola Corporate, we're providing capability trainings, access to resources, and technology support so that we will enable each and every community to manage their own waste at the locality, preventing unnecessary transboundary transference of waste, and managing. You know, the key probably is we are managing the waste problem at source. And of course, Coca-Cola, even we are a big company, even we are a multinational company, we do acknowledge that we alone cannot solve the plastic waste problem. We have to partner with like-minded organizations to help solve and to help create that circular economy that we are all talking about. Diba? So how do we partner? So from the making, from the usage, from the disposal, to the collection, and to the recycling, there are many partnership touch points in there. And we do encourage you to partner with us in any of the life cycle of the bottle here. If you have innovative ideas, if you have solutions in mind, please do share. And of course, having said that, we're actually opening platforms for for us to collaborate. So let me go to the Reimagine Recycling question. Now it's now on its year 3. Reimagine Recycling is our platform for collaboration, supporting solutions to producing solutions and innovations to help solve the waste pollution problem. For this year, there are 10 select finalists. So out of 35 proposals, 10 were shortlisted because they have the most innovative idea, they have the most fresh idea, they have the opportunity to, they have the potential for scale, and they have a sustainability aspect in mind. So these are the top 10. So one bag, communal trash to cash stack bins, Bawas Basura, the Waste Solutions, Trash Cash, Project Hope, Isla Refill, Southland Basura Mo, Manggad Ko, May Pera sa Basura, Sinagos, and there you go. So it's our platform to encourage the youth sector and other organizations to think about, to make them think about beyond what's the usual, to think about innovations on how they can help solve in their community. And from that model, we will see if they have the potential to scale, to take it to a regional level, to take it into a national level. So apart from our partners coming from the Reimagine Recycling, of course, we do partner with the government. You've mentioned some of the institutions that needs to act about the environment. So we do collaborate and we do partner with them, from legislation to the executive. And also we partner with other private sector. We build industry. We are members of industry alliances that help solve the plastic waste problem. And other NGOs, like for example, one of our speakers here, Plastic Bank. They are our partner. In fact, through the partnership with Plastic Bank, and sorry Dan, I need to announce this here. We have already collected 5 million bottles together, just coming from one province. So imagine the potential, of what partnership and a systematic collection can do, and all of those plastic is ensured to go to a recycling facility so that we can create new products or reuse again the materials. So I just wanted probably to emphasize in this discussion that our packaging is not single use, because the PET bottle in itself can be given life over and over. That's why we invested in a bottle-to-bottle recycling facility. So from the bottle, we clean it, we use it, we disintegrate, integrated, and we create new bottles. So it serves again the purpose of being a beverage bottle packaging. So probably let me pause there. And thank you for asking the hard questions. I really appreciate honest conversation and people hearing also our point of view from the private sector.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Joy. You mentioned all of the initiatives. I like the bottle-to-bottle recycling facility, and also, the importance of collecting these wastes as a corporation, and also partnering with different organizations, sectors, and industries to make sustainability happen. No? And you mentioned the importance of a strong partnership, especially in the example that you mentioned a while ago with Dang, the Plastic Bank. Just one message from Kim Pomperada. Hi, Ms. Joy. How can we get contact for collaborations regarding collections of single-use plastics?
Yeah, email me. That's one way. I'm actually leading the World Without Waste initiative for the Philippines. And of course, follow our page. From time to time, we promote programs like Reimagine Recycling. In fact, I actually forwarded it to the TCRP and other organizations. So it's going to be an annual engagement, but we're not limited to that. Of course, there's our Coca-Cola Foundation, wherein they collaborate for philanthropic initiatives to help solve the waste problem. There are many channels, but since you are already in the TCRP, maybe your direct contact would be me because I am a climate reality leader and I'm very proud to be part of this movement.
Thank you so much for that. In TCRP, I think we should also take advantage of the network that we have now. There are 1,200 plus climate reality leaders and additional more coming later this year. So, yeah, the importance of an organization, I'm pretty sure that we can take advantage of this. So, as you mentioned a while ago, these great initiatives, we also cannot ignore, the fact that we can't recycle our way out of the massive plastic problem that we are in, and we need to stop the production of unnecessary single-use plastics and avoid using them in the first place. So this is a bit of a hot seat question, but in line with this, are there any plans from Coke to eventually phase out plastics?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for asking the hard questions. I mean, the platforms like this should give answers and illuminate answers from all types, from all perspectives. So from the perspective of Coca-Cola Philippines, we believe that we have the right mix of sustainable packaging. In fact, 100% of our packaging are recyclable. And as I have mentioned on my presentation earlier, it's actually a good mix. So we don't just use plastic packaging. We also have the glass bottle. We also have the aluminum cans. But what people should understand is that whatever type of packaging that you use, it has a carbon footprint. All right? Regardless if it's glass, aluminum, or PET bottle. Now, what's important here is that we are addressing every need in every lifestyle. There are times that you can use RGB, returnable glass bottles, but there are also times and needs that it will require you to use a PET bottle that is sanitary and safe and it protects your beverage. Especially for people on the go, people who are traveling, people who are in missions, people who are responding to disasters, to a lot of reasons. Maybe the main context that I want to communicate here is that packaging was invented in the first place to address certain human needs. Okay? And these needs are not flimsy needs because you just want it. It's a necessity. You know how safe packaging for food and beverages solve a lot of food wastage in the world. They also help transport medicines, that are otherwise going to be spoiled if they don't use the right packaging. So maybe what I want to promote in this platform is that be mindful of our choices. We do promote reduce, reuse, recycle, and refuse, actually, at Coca-Cola. So depending on your lifestyle and depending the degree of your appreciation of your responsibility about the packaging that you actually use, but that's also one of the problems that is anchored on behavior. When we use products, when we use stuff, after we use it, after we consume it, we feel like it's not our responsibility anymore, the post-usage of that packaging. Diba? Parang out of sight, out of mind. Waste is not my problem. As long as I throw it to the trash, I don't care anymore. Actually, we have to make it our business to know where our trash goes. So that's probably one of the key things, that we want to inculcate throughout the partnerships that we forge. We make sure that there is this behavior change. It's a part of the theory of change that we want to implement in the society because some of the statistics earlier from other speakers showed that each individual actually produces half a kilo to 1 kilo of waste every single day. And that's for every individual. So times 5 for a normal, Filipino-sized family, that's 2.5 kilos, times, for example, 0.5 kilo or 1 kilo, we use that, times 106 Filipinos. Every single day, 365 days a year. And year on year, multiply that by your age. That's how much waste you have produced already. And are you even aware where it goes? So maybe that's one of the key things. It's not about the nature of packaging, but how we do it, what we do about it. And for me, we shouldn't be depriving people of options, especially if that is what they need, in order to have a safe beverage, a safe food, or access to safe medicine. So that's probably my stand on the question. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that. That's a very honest question to a very hot seat. That's a very honest answer to a very hot seat question. So thank you so much for answering that, Joy. I'm pretty sure that question is also on the minds of our viewers today. So for the next segment naman of this episode,
Thank
Avi,
you.
please take it away.
Thank you so much for that, Shar, and to Joy. Oo, very hot topic talaga yung napag-usapan kanina, no? And thank you so much, Joy, for sharing that, no? Maraming salamat sa pag-share ng mga answers natin. Again, remember, there's always going to be responsibilities across. There's going to be representatives from the producers and also the consumers. But the important thing is, we try, di ba, as much as possible to limit our use, di ba? Kasi talagang it's gonna affect our oceans and our environment. So talagang very, very critical talaga yan na alamin natin. And I hope you guys are still in the Facebook group. I still hope you guys are commenting, sharing your thoughts, your opinions, at okay, bago tayo pumunta dyan, syempre, magsa-shoutout muna ako, Shar, no? Shoutout muna tayo kay Riz Santos from Marikina City, syempre kay Rochelle Amboya from Batangas, Harleen Hernandez from Calacas Central School, Mark Armand Rizon from Municipality of Boljon, Province of Cebu. Okay, mayang buntag po. Pamela Guwab, watching from Bicol. So maraming salamat po sa ating mga fans. O, di ba may fans agad? Inassume ko na fans talaga. Now, I think meron tayong specific question to Miss Joy. Ayan, ako magandang question to Miss Joy. Follow up ko lang, Shar, before we go on to Dang. Hello, Miss Joy. When will the vision of the Coca-Cola Company when will the vision of the Coca-Cola Company in helping reduce plastic waste be felt by the majority? Since the Coca-Cola Company can still be as one of the biggest plastic polluter globally today, will Coca-Cola be ever completely reduce their plastic waste and no impact? I guess somehow na-answer nyo na rin to kanina, Ms. Joy,
Yes.
diba? But probably you can expound on that based on the question from Pat. Hello, Pat.
Okay, so, well, Pat, thank you for the question. I may have failed to mention earlier that World Without Waste actually have a timeline. So, by the year 2030, the ambitious goal of the company is that we would have collected every single packaging that we have put out in the market. So it's very ambitious, and again, as Amy and Shar have said, everybody has to pitch in, and Coca-Cola is willing to take on the lead on the private sector front in helping solve the waste problem. So it's a commitment, and when the Coca-Cola Company commits to something, we take it very seriously, and we see to it that there are science-based strategies in place in order to achieve this. And I hope that Pat and your community should be feeling the impact of all of these programs and collaboration in your community very, very soon. So, so with that, again, let me take the opportunity to encourage everyone that for any opportunity or cases of collaboration and you see us, please approach us. And we're open to hear the innovation and we're open to collaborate. So we're growing from here. We have 40 right now and we're seeing hopefully doubled or tripled in the coming years. So especially in communities that are really, really impacted by the waste problem, we're open to discussing solutions with you. What do you have in mind? What do we have in mind? So let's meet halfway. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Joy. Naku, maraming salamat, guys. As mentioned by Miss Joy, you can coordinate, we can collaborate with the Coca-Cola Company, di ba? Para po maisulong natin, di ba, yung pinapangarap nga natin plastic-free, di ba, na Pilipinas. Ayan, so get in touch with them, contact them, communicate with them. They're open, di ba, to communicate. So maraming salamat, Joy. Ayan, so we actually learned so much so far, ha? Marami na tayong natututunan ngayon, Shar, no? So right now, let's move along, no? Syempre, alam ko, excited din ang ating ibang speakers. Let's move on to Dang and the work that they do at Plastic Bank Philippines. So this is really interesting, ano? I can't really wait. Excited akong malaman ano ba yung ginagawang steps, strategies na ginagawa ng Plastic Bank Philippines in terms of implementing here in the Philippines. So, Dang, hello, mabuhay ka. Please share with us what is Plastic Bank all about? How did Plastic Bank start in the Philippines? And ano ba yung mga innovative strategies that you're currently implementing? And what are the impacts? Diba? Interesado akong malaman ano ba yung impacts niyan sa mga communities natin.
Yeah. Salamat, Amy and Char. Siguro for this afternoon, parang kwentuhan lang tayo kung ano talaga yung ginagawa namin sa Pilipinas. So yung Plastic Bank, hindi kami bangko, although mukhang bangko. So ang pinakamitiyan namin, katulad ng mga panelists din dito, is pigilan yung or mahinto yung pagkalat or paglaganap ng polusyong plastic sa ating mga karagatan. Especially dito sa Pilipinas na malaki yung epekto nito dahil malaking porsyento ng mga Pilipino umaasa o yung livelihood na sinasabi natin is malaking parte na nagmumula sa karagatan, and hindi lang yon, critical din yung pangangalaga ng karagatan sa ating food security dahil sa Pilipinas ang pangalawa sa pinaka kinakain natin, kumbaga yung staple food is yung mga isda, at dahil ito din yung pinakamura na source ng protina. So kaya siguro parang isa yun sa mga kagandahan din na parang personally yun din yung mga goals ko kung bakit I became part of Plastic Bank. Hi, please. Yan. So bago ko magdetalye kung ano yung Plastic Bank, mayroon akong video na ipapanood sa inyo. Isa itong kwento ng isa sa mga miyembro namin sa Plastic Bank, si Kuya Danny.
Ako si Dominador Villanueva. Pagising ko sa umaga, pupunta na ako dun sa dagat. Mangisda muna ako pangulam at nangunguha ko ng mga plastic. Marami epekto ng plastic. Kung talagang lilinisin ng karagatan talaga, walang mangyayari. So yung plastic na pangunguha ko sa pangangalakan nito, pag naibibinta ko ito, iniipon ko yung iba, kung ano man ang mangyayari, mayroon na kami matudukot ng pamilya ko. Salamat sa Plastic Bank.
Hey, salamat. Salamat for presenting the story of Kuya Danny. So si Kuya Danny ay isang mangingisda. At the same time, kumbaga nagsa-sideline siya ng mga kolekta ng plastic dahil napansin niya din yung epekto nito sa kanila dahil punto na wala na rin silang mahuling isda. Pero ang kagandahan nito dahil nagtutulong-tulong ang bawat isa, sinasabi niya na nagsisimula na raw ulit na magkaroon ng isda doon kung saan siya nahuhuli, kung saan siya nangingisda. Yan. Next slide, please. So ito, hindi ko na-expound kasi most of the speakers earlier or the panelists was able to expound this further na malaki talaga yung problema natin sa plastic, and sinasabi nga nila na parang equal ito na parang isang garbage truck kada minuto. So could you imagine na parang ganun kalaki yung nakokonsume nating lahat. Kaya bawat isa talagang ini-encourage or parte dapat maging parte nito para masugpo natin yung problemang ito. And yung pinakamahirap nga dito dahil may mga projection na din na by 2030 dodoble yung plastic sa ating karagatan, at hindi lang yon, by 2050 sinasabi nila na mas marami ng plastic kaysa sa mga isda na makikita sa karagatan. Yan. Next slide. Yan. So yung Plastic Bank, katulad ng nabanggit ko kanina, ang mithi namin is mahinto yung polusyong plastic At the same time, magkaroon ng benepisyo ito, environmental, social, at economic. Siguro ito, mas ma-discuss ko to later in my next slide. So, yung plastic bank, sa susunod na slide, makikita nyo kung paano kami nagsimula. Ito ay idea ng dalawang Canadian. So, si David Katz at saka si Sean Frankson. At ang mithiin nila is kung paano masugpo yung magkakonect ng problema ng plastic na polusyon at yung kahirapan. Sa susunod na slide, makikita nyo naman kung saan kami, kung paano namin ginagawa ito. So, merong 4 na strategiya kaming ginagawa. Una, kung saan nagmumula yung mga polusyong plastic, doon namin siniset up itong mga center or branches namin. At the same time, we work with the people who are already doing it and helping them improve their lives. So that para masustain ito. Kasi alam naman natin, okay naman mag-volunteer, pero syempre yung mga katulad din na mga waste collector or scrap collector, kailangan din nila buhayin ang kanilang mga pamilya. So kaya aside from this, kumbaga insentibo is mamaya makikita nyo yung iba't ibang insentibo at rewards na pwede nilang makuha sa pagkokolekta ng plastic. So, ang pangalawa naming strategiya, meron kaming tinatawag na alchemy or blockchain platform. So, ito siguro yung kagandahan na nangyari dahil meron kami nito, medyo hindi kami nahirapan mag-monitor ng mga operasyon namin sa bawat komunidad kung saan kami present kasi meron kaming kumbaga mobile app na nakikita namin yung bawat transaction ng mga miyembro, ng mga branches at even mga processor ng partner ng plastic bank. So, yung mga nakokolekta, kaya namin matrace kung sino kumolekta nun at saan siya napunta at sino gumamit nun. So, yun lang yung kagandahan nitong alchemy. So, katulad ng nabanggit ni Joy, yung cook is isa sa mga partner namin, maaari nilang makita kung ano yung sa pagsusuporta nila sa advokasya ng plastic bank, ano yung mga impact at sino-sino yung mga natulungan nila. So, ganun siya kadali with the help of our alchemy blockchain platform. So at the same time, yung lahat ng nakolekta ng aming mga miyembro is nako-convert siya into flakes and pellets. At ito yung nire-reintroduce sa global supply chain na tinatawag na social plastic. Ito yung trademark namin. At makikita nyo yan sa mga partner namin kasi pag nagawa na bagong produkto yung mga kinolekta ng aming mga miyembro at branches, ginagamit nila yung aming tag, katulad ng litrato sa slide. Yan, isa yan sa mga partner namin. Yan. Next slide, please. So dito, I think sa next slide, makikita na paano ba kami nagsimula, paano kami pumili ng mga lugar kung saan kami pupunta or saan kami magse-set up ng plastic bank. So ito ay isang mapa or heat map kung saan saan present yung plastic, yung mga plastic o polusyong plastic. At makikita nyo yung pula, ito yung pinakamataas na insidente ng plastic. So, kung makikita nyo, alam naman natin, di ba? I think familiar naman lahat na ang Pilipinas ay pangatlo sa pinakamataas na nagpo-produce ng polusyong plastic. And ito ay isang recognition na na nakakahiya at hindi natin matatanggap. Kaya isa sa mga pamamaraan para kumbaga masolusyonan ito is nag-set up din kami dito sa Pilipinas at sa iba't iba pang bansa katulad ng Egypt, Brazil, Indonesia, Haiti, at makikita nyo din sa sa slide na ito is kung saan pa kami mag-expand in the next few years. Yan. Salamat. And next slide. Yan. So dito sa Pilipinas, hindi pa kami ganun kalaki. Pero masasabi namin na in 2 years since nagsimula ang operasyon sa Pilipinas, although nag-start ang Plastic Bank 2017, pero kumbaga mas na-refine namin yung modelo sa Pilipinas around 2019. Kami ay present sa 5 regions. Metro Manila Central, Metro Manila North, South Luzon, North Luzon at Bicol region. So far, we are existing in 20 cities and municipalities and counting. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yan. So paano ba gumagana yung ecosystem ng plastic bank? So katulad ng sinabi namin, kumbaga yung pagkolekta within the community or coastal communities. So it should be like 50 kilometers away from any body of water. Then yung mga collector na partner namin, tinutulungan namin sila. Kumbaga yung mga tools of trade, pushcart, pedicab, trolley at kung ano pa, uniform. So para kumbaga para maging safe and mapatuloy nila yung pagtatrabaho nila ng maayos. Yan. So pumupunta sila sa mga branches namin para mag-exchange ng mga kolekta nila, and pag na-record yun sa aming plastic bank app, kada kilo may katumbas yun na digital tokens na yun yung pwede nilang i-claim bilang i-claim kada end of the month. Pwede nilang i-claim yung incentive na yun at pwede nilang ipangbili yun. Pwede rin silang magkaroon ng mga different rewards later on like micro-insurance, access to mobile phone, and others. So ayan. So part of what we do, we also provide training and values formation to our members and to our community partners. So kasi gusto natin mabalik yung kanilang dignidad kasi kadalasan because they're collecting waste, iba yung tingin sa kanila or maliit yung tingin sa kanila ng ibang tao. So yun yung gusto natin makita, ipaintindi rin sa kanila na yung ginagawa nila is malaking tulong din para pangalagaan ang ating kapaligiran at hindi lang para iangat ang antas ng kanilang pamumuhay. So ayan. So meron tayong mga trainings dito na specifically like for example, we work with junk shop, we work with materials recovery facility. So we know that most of the junk shop are informalized or hindi sila rehistradong negosyo at hindi sila formal na negosyo. So isa sa mga support na pinoprovide namin is to help them professionalize and register their business para mas maging sustainable, di ba? So paano ba sila mag-comply with different permits and standards bilang isang micro-entrepreneurs. So aside from that, from the training, yung mga branches namin, they usually deliver yung mga collection na nabibili nila sa aming mga miyembro o collection point sa aming mga akreditadong processor, na yung mga akreditadong processor na yun ang nagko-convert nun to flakes or pellets. Then, yun yung napoproduce na social plastic, and yun yung aming binibenta sa aming mga partners o kumbaga yung mga clients and partners namin. Sila naman yung bumibili nun. So dito nakikita nyo yung complete, yung sinasabi natin na circular economy. So hindi siya pag ginamit na, itatapon na agad. Yung tinatawag na disposable economy or linear, dito sa ginagawa namin sa ecosystem namin, kumbaga paulit-ulit na ginagamit natin yung mga produkto na or mga packaging. So yun yung parang tinatawag natin na circular economy. Next slide please. So dito sa next slide, ito yung mga example ng mga partnership namin dito sa Pilipinas at sa buong mundo. So merong mga corporation or private sector na sumusuporta sa plastic bank na kung saan para siyang kumbaga pag bumili ka ng produkto nila, merong porsyento na napupunta sa plastic bank. Ito yung isang example ng Procter & Gamble. So yung Gillette nila na produkto, yung Planet Kind. So isa yan sa mga sumusuporta sa advocacy ng plastic bank. Susunod na slide, ito yung tinatawag namin na social plastic. So ito yung sobrang proud kami sa Pilipinas dahil nagsimula ito sa Philippines. So lahat ng nakokolekta namin o majority na nakokolekta namin plastic sa Pilipinas, nagiging Windex at saka Mr. Muscle siya. So siguro mas common sa ating lahat yung produktong Mr. Muscle. So ito, so lahat ng kinokolekta ng mga branches and members namin and collection point, nagiging itong produktong ito. And that's why we are very proud and we can ensure na hindi lang kami nangokolekta, but we ensure that whatever we collect, nagagamit siya talaga or nare-recycle siya muli at paulit-ulit pang magagamit. Yan. Next slide, please. I think yung susunod nito is another partner lang din namin, yung Henkel. This is also one of the supporters in the Philippines. So, yung mga shampoo and yung mga body wash nila, nagmula din yan 100%, nagmula doon sa mga kinokolekta naming plastic. Hindi lang sa Pilipinas, kundi sa iba't ibang lugar pa. Yan. Next slide, please. Yan. So bakit ba gusto nating mag-partner or we understand yung plastic bank na hindi namin kayang gawin to na mag-isa lang. At kailangan, dahil we see it in a system and holistically, that's why we need to work together. So yan, next slide. So one of the things that we could assure with you is we contribute with the UN SDG goals. So with the 17 SDG goals, we accelerate that through our programs and through our community programs in different areas of plastic bank. Next slide, please. Sa next slide naman, makikita natin, ito yung isa sa mga sobrang, ako personally, sobrang inspired ako with this. Because I could really see and I could really witness kung ano yung, kumbaga mga pagbabagong nangyayari sa buhay ng mga branches namin, yung mga partner at saka yung mga collector na partner namin. So, isa ito sa mga pinakamahalagang goal ng plastic bank na kung sino yung mga kumokolekta is ma-improve din yung kanilang kalagayan. Yan, kasi kailangan win-win lahat at lahat ay nakikinabang. Yan. So, katulad nito, si Michael, siya ay isang may-ari ng Micaela Partner Branch o isang junk shop. Dati rin siyang kolektor. Ang maganda dito dahil sa pagtutulungan namin ng plastic bank at saka niya, natulungan niya din yung mga ibang, meron siyang isang former worker na natulungan niya mag-set up ng isang branch din ng plastic bank. So, doon naman natin makikita na pag natutulungan at nagbabago or umuunlad sila, nagsisimula din silang tumulong sa iba. So, katulad nito, ang isa sa mga nangyari din is yung kaalaman, mas natuto and mas naging, kumbaga, motivated yung mga member natin nung nalaman nila na hindi lang para sa kanila yung epekto ng ginagawa nila, kundi nakaka-apekto din ito or nakakatulong ito sa kanilang komunidad at para pangalagaan ng ating environment. Yan. Next slide, please. So, dito sa plastic bank, we reveal value beyond the plastic. So, hindi lang yung plastic yung inaayos natin dito, kundi yung binanggit ko nga kanina, we conduct values formation and training programs, leadership training or community servant leadership, and micro-entrepreneurship. So, dito, sobrang inspiring lang and nakakatuwa kasi dito, parang dito nagbubuo ng solusyon. Kumbaga, hindi lang kami sa plastic bank yung nag-iisip kung ano yung pwede nating magawa or pagtulungan. Kumbaga, laging nag-uusap-usap, laging nagkwentuhan, paano pa natin mapaganda or paano pa ba tayo maging creative para masolusyonan itong problema sa plastic. Yan. Susunod na slide. Siguro, isa ito sa mga naging target namin nung nagkaroon ng pandemic. We try to focus on prevention. Paano ba namin mapoprotektahan ng aming mga miyembro, ang aming mga branches, para hindi sila magkaroon ng COVID. Pero at the same time, matuloy nila yung ginagawa nilang pamumuhay. Kasi alam naman natin na sobrang hirap ngayon, maraming nagugutom at marami pang mga suliranin na sanhi or epekto ng pandemic. So, ang isa sa mga ginawa namin is we transition some of our programs online and yung mga trainings namin, information, and we still regularly check on them para makita namin kung ano yung pwedeng pagtulungan para maisaayos yung mga operasyon at yung pamumuhay. At the same time, yung mga miyembro namin, we equip them with COVID kits. So nakikita nyo si Kuya, meron siyang kapote, meron siyang boots, meron siyang gloves, may face mask, may face shield and others. And kadalasan, ito yung mga suliranin ng ating mga miyembro na dahil kulang na nga pangkain, wala silang pangbili ng face mask, as simple as that, or face shield. So para hindi na nila alalahanin yon at mag-focus na lang din sila para sa kanilang pamumuhay, ito yung mga isa sa mga provide ng plastic bank at aming mga partner. Yan. Next slide, please. So dito sa susunod na slide, makikita nyo yung iba't ibang rewards na pinaprovide namin sa aming mga miyembro o mga branch. So katulad nung we also provide like top collector or loyalty awards. It's usually done monthly or quarterly. Kanina I mentioned we provide COVID kits and at the same time members kit. Depende sa level nila kasi meron kaming roadmap. So, depende doon, may ma-activate sila. So, para siyang game na every time you excel or you perform a good behavior, meron kang matatanggap. So, ganun siya. Then, members' rewards can also be like push card, pedicab, yan, and trolley, and many more. So, in terms of partnership, we formalize the partnership so they would see how serious we are in making this in this partnership and this advocacy to make it into reality. We have MOA or Code of Conduct implemented in all of our partnerships with the community. Then insurance, we were able to pilot providing micro insurance and health cards or HMO to some of our members as well. And hopefully we'll be able to cascade it later this year or early next year. Yeah, and then we also provide digital and financial literacy. So we provide them banks, digital wallet, and for branches, we help them fix their facility. Then, another thing as well is for them to claim their incentive and rewards. So we set up Redemption Center, which is located at the heart of their community. So kung nahirapan sila magbiyahe, ganyan, so we activate sari-sari stores na pwede sila mag-claim ng mga basic necessities doon, katulad ng bigas, ng iba't ibang produkto. Pero medyo strict lang kami in terms of redemption center. So we don't accept any products there na single-use plastic, and we usually provide like starter kit for our members to start practicing parang hindi na sila gumamit ng mga single-use plastic then. Like we provide eco bags and containers for them to start kumbaga embracing the zero waste lifestyle then. Next slide please. Yan. So sa next slide, yan, makikita nyo lang some of the activities that we have. Actually, during 2019, during the National Clean Up Day, katulad ngayong araw, nag-participate din yung mga member namin. Tapos mga training and values formation din kami. And currently, we're also understand there are certain local situation that we have to palang tailor fit and to make sure that it's gonna work. So kaya medyo nag-invest din kami in terms of assessment and talking with different people or stakeholders to really identify what are the bottlenecks and what are the things that we can enhance and how we could complement our work together, because we cannot claim na kami lang yung gumagawa nito. We understand that the LGU are doing it because they are mandating, but we are here to complement and to improve, like to kumbaga to scale up what they are doing. So kaya we're also getting inquiries by different LGUs, which we are currently ongoing, and with the partnership with you, and then we are able to parang really come up with a better program for citywide or municipality-wide. And we're excited because meron kaming mga works na region-wide, pero wala pang partnership with government. But we're still finding ways because we understand every stakeholder or every sector has really something that they would contribute. So we're on that process.
Yes,
and thank you for asking.
Meron na Miss Dang, ayan, see you daw in Palawan, dito rin Mindanao, meron din sa Leyte, no? So marami po, marami na rin yung gustong maki-partner sa inyo. So I hope you take the time to read all of the comments and probably answer them as well para at least, ma-engage pa natin lalo, kasi yun naman ang goal natin, di ba? Ma-engage pa natin lalo yung mga communities, especially the LGU. So maraming salamat. What actually struck me the most is, sabi nyo nga, same with Oceana, no? The goal is really to stop di ba, ocean plastics at the source, di ba? Very important yun. Gusto ko rin i-highlight yung nabanggit kanina ni Oceana regarding that. So maraming salamat again, Miss Dang, and to Plastic Bank Philippines. Maraming salamat. What do you think, Shar? Anong tingin mo?
I totally agree with you, Ivy. So talaga yung spirit of this episode to highlight and promote, these initiatives on cleanups, recycling, and waste management so that more groups will know about it and eventually replicate and build on it moving forward and even partner with some of the organizations and companies with us today. What else, diba? Our conversation today could inspire new policies also and more people joining the sustainability movement. Before I move on to our next segment, shout out ulit tayo sa mga nanonood ngayon sa Facebook Live. We have Maria Sherilyn Ingwin Perez Barot watching from Batangas, Catherine Ray D. Cam watching from Quezon City, Reyes Simonel Bartolome watching from Ilocos, Dolly Pedro watching from Bacara, Ilocos Norte, Stephanie Agbayani watching from Occidental, Mindoro, and Gianni Loy Yekla from Aklan State University. Shout out po sa inyo. And speaking of movements, let's now move on to our youth reactor for today, Ari. I know you've been listening intently to our speakers, and you can't wait to give us your thoughts and insights on other presentations. So, aside from your reaction to the initiatives that was presented to us today, we'd also like to ask, what is the role of young people in reducing waste? And how can we encourage young people to take action? So, Ari, please do take it away.
Thank you, Shar. First of all, I would just like to say I am so honored to be among these guest speakers. All these companies and these organizations, grabe nakaka-inspire talaga yung mga ginagawa nyo. And as you can see, there was a lot of information that was presented and super large scale talaga yung mga projects na ginagawa nila. And it's really, really inspiring what they do, and especially how they adapt to the changing times, especially now that we're in a pandemic, and they're still able to do things like this. That's truly amazing. And I would like to repeat some of the points that they mentioned a while ago. Like the plastic crisis, it's really a lifestyle and responsibility problem, or rather, that's how we could solve it. Also, it's really a lifestyle adjustment and knowing what you're supposed to be responsible for, and that also these types of problems, especially problems that affect climate change, should be inclusive of many aspects like the environment, the economy, and also the social aspect. So it's not just all about the environment, it's also taking into account these different perspectives that come with the problem and making it intersectional. And I would like to say I'm so inspired and amazed by all of the incentives that you're doing. So thank you so much for doing all of those. And I hope that we could also support them in their initiatives. So moving on to what I would like to discuss today or what I would like to talk about is more of our role as the youth in reducing waste. So as mentioned, there's a lot of incentives, and they seem kind of big, and it might be overwhelming. And as the youth, we do feel the effects of this plastic crisis and this overwhelming amount of waste. And we are the generation that is going to feel the effects of the decisions that are made today. And As we all know, we live in a digital age. It's a technological age that is very fast paced. And that's what we're getting used to. We're getting used to a lot of innovations and a lot of exponential expanding. And what we need to remember is we need to be responsible consumers. As young people, we're used to being fast and making quick decisions and sort of being like a sponge to everything that's happening around us. But we also have to remember that we have to be responsible when absorbing a lot of information and a lot of practices that a lot of people are doing. So just because something is trendy doesn't mean that it's good for you to do or it's good for you to follow. So we have to be responsible in practicing those things. And what I would like to emphasize from the points that were made a while ago is it's really all about reduction for waste. And while recycling does work, the first step is really to reduce our waste and lessen the amount of waste that we use. So it's reducing plastic consumption by making small lifestyle changes, like, for example, with the products that we see today, like if we have the choice to use a metal straw or a bamboo straw instead of a plastic straw, then definitely use that. But if you have the choice to not use any straw at all, that's a much better choice. This is actually a topic that I think about a lot, because even if we're replacing plastic straws with these other materials, there's still a lot of production that's involved and it's mass produced, so there still ends up being a lot of waste, but just in a different material. So really reducing what we use is going to be very helpful. Also, with any type of containers like reusable water jugs instead of using bottled water. And I know Miss Joy actually addressed this a while ago, so thank you for addressing this issue also, because like that was a very hard question actually, talking about why we need or why we use plastic bottles in the first place. It's actually for sanitary purposes, and also these are usually used for reaching out to people, especially when there are disasters and events like that. So they do have a purpose. So if you really know their purpose, you're responsible with what you're consuming, and you know what they're for, then you'll be able to use them properly. So that's what I would like to highlight in. And I would like to also touch on the point that as humans, we naturally want everything to be easy. So it's very overwhelming, as I mentioned. Like, this is a very huge problem, it's a systemic problem, and we naturally want everything to be easy for us. And a lot of us might not know where to start or like how to take it all in and how to take the first step. So I would like to share my experience as one of the youth leads for What's Up. It's the anti-single-use plastic campaign of the Youth Cluster of Climate Reality Philippines. So for phase 1 of the campaign, what we did was an information, education, and communication campaign that highlighted bite-sized challenges over a monthly calendar that were easy to digest, especially for the youth. So it was more about learning about the plastic crisis and knowing what it is, so that we could take concrete action and concrete steps to be able to create change. First, on a personal level, like very introspective. Like, what can I do or what can I change in my lifestyle or in my habits? Like, do I need to use less sachets, or do I need to stop using water bottles? That's on a personal level. And then on an educational level, wherein we learn from different people, we're able to talk to other people, and on a systemic level as well, where we are able to influence businesses and even the government ultimately. And after learning about the plastic crisis, that's really when we're informed, that's really when we can make the bigger changes. And I would also like to add, after that phase, we were really happy with the outcome and we wanted to expand our project. So now, what we are going to do is we're going to partner with DepEd to integrate the curriculum, to integrate our challenges into the curriculum of certain schools and universities, hopefully, so that, or at least target the general public as well, um, so that we could implement these bite-sized challenges and help people understand what this plastic crisis really is and how important it is. And that's actually a lot also, even as youth, like obviously I wouldn't be able to do it on my own, and I have an organization to support me and a very, very passionate team of fellow climate reality leaders who are also working on this. And I guess on a more general aspect, as a young person, as an individual, what I could do is just create conversations with my family, with my friends that can inspire them to take action as well. It's really just talking about it and getting informed and taking those concrete steps and making personal changes that will get us to really know more about it and spread the information. And yeah, there's only so much we could do on a personal level. It's really also supporting these initiatives, joining organizations, and participating in projects. And actually, a very powerful tool these days is social media. I know that it's very different now, especially during the pandemic. We had to shift a lot of projects and campaigns, and instead of it being on site, sadly, that's actually what this event is about, coastal cleanups. Sadly, we were not able to do that because it's not safe. So we might as well do our part in our own homes and on social media and talking about it and sharing our own experiences. And I would like to actually share an activity that the Climate Reality Project did in partnership with Break Free from Plastic Philippines. It is a brand audit. I believe we have some pictures to share. Yes, thank you. So this is the brand audit that we did with Break Free from Plastic Philippines. It is a brand audit, a home audit. So instead of doing a coastal the plastic the plastic waste in our homes over 7 days, and we did have data cards and data sheets to log in our waste. And this is actually a good representation of what we were able to collect, and it's not intentionally collecting, it's not intentionally showing that we use plastic. It's more of identifying what these brands are and what we consume on a personal level, and also trying to make change eventually on a bigger level. So I would like to share what I personally logged for this brand audit. So there were brands like LBC, JNT Express, and there was a lot of bubble wrap. I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to the bubble wrap because most of them came from my Shopee purchases. And there are also other brands like Zesto, Nestle, Jollibee, Mondanisin, Universal, Robina, Coke, and Procter and Gamble, and all of these big brands also. And I would just like to note that it's difficult to change because we are in a pandemic, and companies like these bigger companies and the ones that produce a lot of plastic actually provide solutions for safe and convenient purchasing during this time. So that's the context that I would like to put. And what I would like to say that is the youth is a very
the youth is very powerful. So actually, what we could do is we could ask them to change. So by performing this brand audit, we are able to identify the brands that we use and actually contact these companies or create larger data sets that could help us make these companies realize that there needs to be change not only on the consumer level but also on the producer level. And the thing is, companies will always listen to their markets and they do follow how the market responds. And a term that actually encapsulates this idea is extended producer responsibility, or making companies accountable for the waste they produce. So not only producing, but also what happens to the waste after they're used by the customers. So that's actually a very good concept that I would like to highlight. And I would also like to recognize, since we do have companies and organizations making efforts with us today, especially like the Coke, the company that Miss Joy is representing. So thank you so much for doing those initiatives. And I hope we do see more of those initiatives from other companies as well. And more than the private sector, the government is very important. So on the last thing I would like to mention is it's also the youth's responsibility to vote wisely. And it's already late September and registration is going to close soon. So please, I would like to encourage everyone, or especially the youth, to register to vote if you're old enough and if you haven't registered yet. And please vote wisely as well. And through collaboration with the government, the private sector, and through your own personal initiatives, we could all work together to solve this plastic crisis. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ari, for that. I'm always very inspired. I'm always very inspired and in awe with what our youth, diba? Especially our youth cluster, are doing, diba? And thank you so much for doing the brand audit. I did that as well. Ginawa ko rin yan eh. I did my own brand audit. The reason behind it is because I want to know what I'm using, what are my wastes, diba? And the next best thing is how do I shift away from it, diba? It's looking for alternatives, looking for more sustainable options. Kasi that's the least that we can do for our planet, diba? And thank you so much for our youth cluster for doing that. Thank you so much to Break Free from Plastic Youth Coordinations as well. So maraming salamat. And I totally agree with Ari with what she said. As Joy is, as Coca-Cola is doing now, and I hope a lot of companies will start doing this, diba? We're calling on all these companies to stop producing. You have the responsibility to do that and stop producing unnecessary single-use plastics in the first place, diba? So, sana tulong-tulong tayo, no? Sama-sama tayo as a community to look for, accountability, diba? Look for responsibilities, not just from them, but from us as well, diba? Very, very important for all of us to move towards real solutions that eliminate the need for single-use plastic packaging altogether. Diba, Shar? Thank you so much, Ari.
Thank you, Ari. Indeed, Amy. On that note, we would like to thank all of our resource speakers for spending their Saturday with us. But before we close, we have a parting question for you guys, and that is, what is your vision for a plastic-free Philippines? And actually, let's start with Mary. Mary?
Hello po, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, yung vision po namin is when each of us do collaborate and participate in every events, not only in events but in our daily livelihood, in our daily life, and when we also change from changing and transforming our lifestyles, from breaking from plastic and do this minimalism and zero waste minimalism. And most of plastics and zero waste plastics will be abolished. Most of us, when we do and unite to be when we unite against plastic. That's all.
Thank you so much, Mary. Ray, how about you? What is your vision for plastic-free Philippines?
Um, First of all, before I go into my answer, I would like to commend the youth. Talagang ako din, sobrang inspired ako with our youth and how, especially sa the youth partners kasi, sila yung nasa forefront ng battle against plastic crisis. So, alam mo yung they're so much into it because they know that that their future is at stake in this plastic crisis issue. So thank you very much, Ali, for taking the lead also. I have so much awe and admiration to our youth. Talking about what is my vision of a plastic-free Philippines? My vision of a plastic-free Philippines, unang-una, marine life is abundant and there is no plastic pollution in the ocean, which affects not only the marine ecosystem but also the lives and the livelihoods of our fisher folk. So, plastic-free Philippines means there is food security because we greatly depend on the ocean for food, right? And also, plastic-free Philippines for me is when plastic is no longer part of our system, when there are alternatives to plastics, and we are able to have that behavioral change that we are aiming for because there are policies in place. There are alternatives in place that the consumers, such as us, will not feel helpless anymore. Because as of now, plastic is readily available, plastic is cheap, and my vision of a plastic-free Philippines is a Philippines without those harmful plastics that we have. And also, lastly, my vision of plastic-free Philippines is when the National Solid Waste Management Commission would finally issue that long overdue non-environmentally acceptable products and packaging materials, which include single-use plastics, because that's the law that was created to address this plastic crisis. There is a sense of urgency in this plastic crisis, so we need to vote in. We need to pull our forces together in order to each of us has a take in this issue. And parting word also, let's vote for let's register to vote. Last remaining days, like what Ari said, register to vote, and let's vote for leaders which also care for the environment. That they can push us. Thank you.
Sorry.
No.
Sounds lovely. Thank you, May. Joy, your turn. What is your vision for a plastic-free Philippines? Hello, Joy? I'm not sure if she's with us in the Zoom. So I'll just quickly, maybe she just got disconnected from her internet. I'll just quickly go to Dang. Dang, you have the floor. What is your vision for a plastic-free Philippines?
Hi. For me, plastic-free Philippines, parang organized or the system of our waste management is better. I think that's one of the things that has to be addressed. Second, there would be better compliance in terms of laws. So it's not just about having good laws, but good implementation and cooperation and participation of public and private partnerships. So I think that's very powerful. And as much as possible, I think for us, protecting our environment or protecting the ocean or practicing zero plastic or zero waste, this means nation building because we're an archipelago, and if we protect our country as well by less usage or no usage of plastic, I think we are also preparing a better future for the next generation. So let's try to also be mindful of that. It's not because that we enjoyed the life that we have, but let's also prioritize the next generation, and let's also create a better future for them. And I like the idea that was mentioned earlier, that it entails intergenerational approach, it entails systemic approach, it entails a lot of creativity for better solutions. And if we could also start it by simplifying, parang simple actions, definitely that would create extraordinary results later on if we merge all our efforts together. So thank you.
Thank you, Dang. Ari, what is your answer to what is your vision for a plastic-free Philippines?
My vision for a plastic-free Philippines is, as they mentioned, having innovative solutions and really being creative with how we react to waste management. And also, actually, for a plastic-free Philippines, it's kind of a stretch, or it's kind of ideal, like what I'm thinking. But my vision for a plastic-free Philippines is really being comfortable without plastic, or feeling complete without that kind of need. So having alternatives that we won't call alternatives anymore, because those will be the things that we're using. So instead of plastics, we'll have something else, and having those and types of innovations that could really replace what we know today and what's embedded in our culture and in our environmental practices. Thank you so much. Naku, maraming salamat po. Siyempre sa ating mga guests, no? Thank you so much for all your wonderful closing messages. I learned a lot, no? I hope a lot of people watching this now are inspired now, di ba? Ngayon, sana bawat isa sa atin mas ma-inspire po, di ba? I want to thank all of our speakers for what you do. Diba? Thank you so much for the work that you do. Hopefully, we will meet again soon. No? Sana po tuloy-tuloy natin tong conversation na ito on finding more pathways towards sustainability. So we look forward with hope and enthusiasm of what you will still do, diba? What you will innovate and lead to address this never-ending problem of waste. Muli po kami po ay lubos na nagpapasalamat, no? While, of course, we have companies that are forging ahead in the fight against waste and plastic, importante po, mga kapatid, mga kaibigan, na magsimula rin po ito sa atin, no? Kailangan po magsimula ang pagbabago sa bawat isa. Now, we would love to hear what you, your community, or even your household is doing right now. Mga kapatid, kung meron po kayong ginagawa ngayon in terms of celebrating National Cleanup Month, i-share nyo lang po yan sa Facebook. Gusto po namin malaman yan. Ano po bang ginagawa natin ngayon para baguhin, pagandahin ang ating napakagandang mundo po?
Truly, I mean, parang bitin pa nga yung usapan natin eh. But one thing is for sure, we are making progress, and we must ensure that you will keep making progress, no? Together, we can find more solutions to the interlinked challenges of plastic pollution and climate change. To keep up with us, follow the Instagram page of the Climate Reality Project Philippines at Climate Reality PH, and our Twitter account at Climate Real PH. You can also visit the socials of our guests' organizations, and their handles are flashed on the screen.
Yes, naku. Before I proceed, no, just want to read a message from Arjun Villaseran. Our LGU should also generate an ordinance that strictly adheres to lessen single-use plastic products. Yes, yes, we highly encourage you to write. Naku, may advice si Arjun. We highly encourage you to write to your LGUs, to your councilors in issuing an ordinance on single-use plastic products or packaging. Ask your local leaders to look at other plastic ordinances from other LGUs kasi iba-iba naman yan. Depende sa konteksto. Okay? May mga LGUs na may ban lang sa mga malls or supermarket. May iba naman tighter yung penalties. So your LGU has to see what works best. And of course, dapat may consultation with stakeholders including the businesses, etc. So maraming salamat Arjun for your